There's a problem that's been quietly costing AI developers real money. Reasoning models think step by step before answering, and they have a tendency to overthink. A simple code fix triggers the same internal monologue as a graduate-level math problem. Today, Moonshot AI released Kimi K2.7-Code, and cutting that problem down by 30% is the first thing they put in the announcement. Moonshot AI is a Beijing-based company that has been releasing models at a pace that's hard to keep up with. K2.7-Code is their 5th major release in under a year, and the company has built its reputation around 3 things: agentic capabilities, long context handling, and multimodal inputs. This is also the first time Moonshot has put the word code directly in the model's name, which tells you something about how they're positioning this release. It's specifically designed for software engineering tasks, coding agents, and what's called long horizon work, meaning it can take on complex, multi-step programming jobs without losing the thread. Before we get into the numbers, let's be precise about what K2.7-Code actually is. It's not a new base model, it's a coding specialist fine-tuned built on top of K2.6. Same foundation, upgraded for a specific job. That foundation uses a mixture of experts architecture with 1 trillion total parameters, but only 32 billion of those are active at any given time. Instead of one giant brain working on every problem, the model has hundreds of specialized subnetworks, and it routes each task to the most relevant ones. This keeps the model powerful without requiring the same computing cost as a dense trillion-parameter system. The context window sits at 256,000 tokens, long enough to hold several large code files at once, which matters when you're debugging or refactoring a real production codebase. Moonshot says K2.7-Code reduces reasoning token usage by approximately 30% compared to K2.6. What does that actually mean? Reasoning models think out loud before they answer. They work through a problem step by step internally before giving you output. That's genuinely useful for hard problems. But there's a growing issue called overthinking, where models spend an enormous number of tokens just deliberating on tasks that don't need it. A simple function refactor shouldn't require the same chain of thought as a research-level math problem. For a developer running an automated coding agent that handles hundreds of tasks a day, cutting reasoning tokens by 30% on those same tasks means lower costs and faster responses. That adds up quickly. On performance, the benchmark story is real, but it needs context. Moonshot reports a 21.8% gain on their Kimi code bench, an 11% improvement on program bench, and a 31.5% jump on MLS Bench Lite, which covers multi-language coding across Python, Rust, and Go. Most of these gains are measured against Moonshot's own previous model, K2.6. That's legitimate progress, but it's not the same as being independently verified against frontier systems. In Moonshot's own comparison table, K2.7-Code does not beat GPT 5.5 on any of the 6 listed benchmarks. It's competitive on several of them, and it does beat Claude Opus 4.8 on one agentic benchmark, MCP Mark verified. And honestly, at this price point, that's pretty hard to argue with. Frontier coding models right now cost anywhere from $10 to $50 per million tokens. Kimi K2.7-Code just launched at under $1 for input. The model is available as open weights on Hugging Face under a modified MIT license, meaning developers can self-host it for free. Through the Moonshot API, it costs 0.95 per million input tokens and 4 per million output tokens. The API is OpenAI and Anthropic SDK compatible, meaning existing setups can switch to K2.7-Code with a single line of code, no integration overhaul required. So for individual developers and small teams, this lowers the cost of building AI-assisted workflows without sacrificing much performance. And for the open source ecosystem, it keeps pressure on closed providers. And that competition is ultimately good for all of us. Moonshot has now put out 5 major releases in under a year, and each one has been more targeted than the last. K2.7-Code is cheaper to run, more efficient with its reasoning, and open for anyone to use or build on. And that's Kimi K2.7-Code. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you want AI updates as they happen. I'll see you in the next one.